April is a really good month to get things in the ground here in Zone 9A. The key is planting crops that can handle the heat and humidity that's right around the corner. In Zone 9A, this is where things start working in your favor. The soil is warming up, the humidity is coming in, and we're getting more consistent rain. When you plant the right crops now, those conditions actually help your garden take off. And this is where choosing the right crops really makes all the difference. When you plant things that are built for these conditions, your garden can actually do really well this time of year. We're talking about crops that are heat tolerant, resilient to humidity, resistant to diseases, and above all, reliable. These are the crops you can count on in this kind of climate. Let's talk about two crops that love heat and humidity, southern peas and okra. Now, when it comes to southern peas, you can't go wrong with the Mississippi Silver variety. These peas are resilient, thriving in the region's intense heat and humidity. Plus, they're resistant to most diseases. A simple tip for you, always ensure these peas have plenty of sunlight. They love it. Moving on to okra, the Clemson Spineless 80 is a standout variety. It's a tall plant with spineless pods, hence the name, making harvesting a breeze. This one handles our humidity really well, so it's a solid choice here. Here's a simple tip for okra. Never let the pods get too large. Harvest them when they're about 2 to 3 inches long for the best taste and texture. It's all about planting what actually works here. Next up, two crops that not only withstand the heat but thrive in it: sweet potatoes and Malabar spinach. Let's start with sweet potatoes. The Beauregard variety in particular is a reliable pick for our Zone 9A gardeners. It's heat tolerant and doesn't mind the humidity one bit. Plant these in mounds to promote good drainage. You don't want the tubers to rot in overly wet soil. Now, let's talk about Malabar spinach, specifically the Bacella alba variety. It's a tropical vine, so it loves the heat and humidity. It's also resistant to many common diseases. When growing Malabar spinach, provide it with a trellis or some support to climb. It'll reward you with an abundant harvest. When you choose the right crops, your garden can do really well here, even through the summer. Moving on to two more crops that love the humid subtropical climate: Tromboncino squash and cucumber. Now, Tromboncino squash is a truly resilient variety. It thrives in heat and humidity, and its long, slender shape makes it ideal for trellising, which helps keep it off the ground and away from soil-borne diseases. A simple tip for growing Tromboncino squash is to provide it with ample space to grow, as it can get quite large. Next, we have the cucumber, specifically the Diva variety. This is a fantastic choice for our climate. Diva cucumbers are known for their disease resistance and ability to withstand the heat. They produce sweet, crisp cucumbers that are perfect for a refreshing summer salad. When planting Diva cucumbers, remember to provide them with a trellis or some form of support, as this will help to increase airflow and reduce disease pressure. The right crop in the right climate can make all the difference. Now let's talk about the stars of any garden: tomato, tomatillo, and pepper. First up is the tomato. The Solar Fire variety is a champion in heat and humidity. Its thick skin and resilient nature make it a reliable choice for your garden. Here's a tip: plant your tomatoes deep. The stem will sprout roots, giving your plant a solid foundation. Next, we have the tomatillo. The Toma Verde variety is a winner in subtropical climates. It thrives in the heat and can handle heavy rain, ensuring a bountiful harvest. Remember to give them plenty of space. They like to spread out. Lastly, let's discuss the pepper. Whether you choose cayenne or cubanelle, both varieties are heat tolerant and disease resistant. A simple tip for growing peppers: they love the sun, so make sure they're in a place where they get plenty of it. In our climate, some varieties just do better than others. Next on the list are eggplant, yard long bean, and corn. Let's take a look at these heat-loving crops. First up, we have the eggplant, specifically the Florida high bush variety. This heat-tolerant variety thrives in our humid climate and can stand tall against disease pressure. A simple tip for you: give your eggplants plenty of space to grow. They'd appreciate the room. Moving on to the yard-long bean, the red noodle variety is your best bet. This variety loves the heat and humidity and is resistant to most common diseases. Just remember to provide a sturdy trellis for these beans to climb on. Lastly, we've got corn, particularly the Silver Queen variety. This corn loves warm soil and can handle a good deal of humidity. My tip for growing corn is to plant in blocks, not rows, for better pollination. Finally, let's talk about watermelon, cantaloupe, and ginger. The Crimson Sweet variety of watermelon is a real charmer in the heat and humidity of Zone 9A. It's got a thick rind that resists splitting in heavy rains, and boy, does it produce some sweet, juicy melons. A simple tip for growing these is to give them plenty of space to spread out. Next up, we have the Hale's Best Jumbo Cantaloupe. This variety can handle the heat and the humidity, and it's resistant to common diseases. One tip for cantaloupes is to use a trellis. It saves space, and the fruits hang down like little orange lanterns. Let's not forget about the Queensland type of ginger. This variety is well suited for the subtropical climate and can even handle heavy rains. A little tip for ginger is to plant it in a part-shade area to protect it from the scorching midday sun. So, plant what works for your climate, not everything at once. So, there you have it. 15 crops that love the heat and humidity of Zone 9A. We've walked through a pretty impressive list today, haven't we? Let's take a quick walk down memory lane, shall we? We kicked things off with the southern peas, specifically the Mississippi Silver variety, and the Clemson Spineless 80 okra. Both these crops are champions when it comes to thriving in the heat and humidity. Next up, we had the Beauregard sweet potatoes and the Bacella alba Malabar spinach. These guys love the warm soil, and they're not too bothered by heavy rain either. Then we moved on to the Tromboncino squash and Diva cucumbers. Both are resilient crops that can handle humidity and fungal pressures like pros. Our next trio was the Solar Fire tomatoes, Toma Verde tomatillos, and either the cayenne or cubanelle peppers. These crops are not just heat tolerant, but they're also disease resistant, making them perfect for Zone 9A. We then took a look at the Florida highbush eggplant, the red noodle yard-long beans, and the Silver Queen corn. These crops are reliable and can really thrive under the conditions we've got in Zone 9A. And last, but certainly not least, we had the Crimson Sweet watermelon, Hale's Best Jumbo Cantaloupe, and Queensland type ginger. These crops are not just delicious, but they're also resilient and reliable. Now remember, the key here is to choose the right crops for your climate. And in Zone 9A, that means focusing on heat tolerance, humidity resilience, disease resistance, and reliability. Don't try to plant everything at once. Start with a few crops, get to know them, understand their needs, and then expand your garden gradually. Remember, the key to a successful garden is choosing the right crops. And don't forget to let us know where you're growing in the comments below. And hit that like and subscribe button for more Zone 9A gardening content.